សូមអញ្ជើញអង្គុយ
Please be seated.
ជាបន្ត
I'd like to hand the floor now to the defense team for Kiev Sampon to put questions to the witness.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon, witness. My name is Antai Gissé, and I'm the International Co-Counsel for Mr. Kyosampan. And it is in this capacity that I'm going to put some very short complementary questions to you. The first point I'd like to cover with you is the following. You spoke to my colleague about the meetings you attended at the sector level when you were in Barai district. And I'd like to know if you remember a meeting during which the issues relative to the treatment of the population were dealt with, and in particular the treatment that was meted out to the 17 April people. Do you remember having attended such a meeting where such matters were discussed?
No, I do not recall such a meeting.
Do you remember having seen a document that related to the 17 April people and how they were treated?
No, I did not receive that.
Let me see if I can refresh your memory, because you spoke about this issue when you were questioned by the OCIJ investigators. And I'm referring here to document E3/5293, French ERN 00367749, English ERN 00351703. Khmer ERN 00348842 onto the following page. And I'm going to read to you the totality of the question and answer to see if this refreshes your memory fully. And the question is the following. At Barai district, did you ever attend meetings? Answer. I was invited to a meeting once. It was held in Chamkalu district in Kompong Cham province. The sector secretary, chaired the meeting. At the meeting, the upper echelon set out a plan for us to produce rice, but not about purging of enemies. By the time I came to work at Barai district, there was a release of a document regarding the territory protection, revolution protection, but not about anything else. Moreover, another document was released to forgive the 17 April people and to stop the distinction between the new people and the base people. So, my question is the following. Did you see this circular? And your answer. I saw the document and I even studied the document. I do not know from where the document came. It came in the form of a book. End of quote. So now that I have read to you your statement before the OCIJ, does this refresh your memory? Do you remember having seen a document pertaining to the 17 April people and to the fact that it was indicated that they should be treated as the base people, as the old people? Does this refresh your memory?
I received that document.
Do you remember upon which occasion you received this document? Was this during a meeting or was this at another occasion?
បាទអត់បាន
No, I cannot recall as to when I received that document.
Est-ce que vous
Do you remember, well, you said in a statement that I just quoted that this document came in the form of a book. So do you remember if this circular appeared in a revolutionary flag issue or in another kind of document?
បាទឯកសារ
The document was like this revolutionary flag magazine.
et
And did you often have access to these issues of revolutionary flag, or was this the first time that you managed to see such a document?
I read the document, and the document was used and discussed during the meetings.
d'accord et
Fine. And did you often gain access to issues of revolutionary flag, or was this the first time that you were using an issue of revolutionary flag during a meeting?
បាទលើក
That was the first time.
In this same interview by the OCIJ, you spoke about your participation in a marriage. Do you remember when and where you attended a wedding ceremony?
បាទទីកន្លែង
I cannot recall the location, but I recall that I attended such event.
est-ce que
Did you attend that wedding ceremony as a district chief?
ក្នុងឋានៈជា
I attended as a guest and as part of the district committee.
est-ce que
Can you tell us if you remember who was present at that wedding ceremony?
បាទ
During the wedding ceremony, there were those male and female youths and their parents, that is, the parents from both sides.
Do you remember if you attended other wedding ceremonies aside from that one?
បាទ
No, I did not.
le jour où vous êtes
So the day when you attended that ceremony, were many couples getting married at the same time?
បាទ
There were two couples, and one couple at a time was organized for that wedding ceremony.
est-ce que
'Cause Do you know what the procedure was to organize a wedding ceremony? How were things organized?
បាទ
During the wedding ceremony, each side will be requested to announce their brief biography, and then the chairperson of the wedding would announce and acknowledge the newlywed couples.
C'est de ma faute.
Maybe my question wasn't very clear. I apologize. What I wanted to know was how would one obtain the authorization to get married? How would people get organized before the ceremony? So when one person wanted to get married to another person, what did that person do?
Before the wedding, both sides had to make a proposal to their respective chief or to the cooperative chief.
Une fois que
And once the request was sent to the cooperative chief, what happens?
Nothing else happened, then a date would be fixed.
I'm going to try to refresh your memory with what you said before the OCIJ. It's still the same document, so it's E3/5293, French ERN 00367751, English 00351705, Khmer 00348844, on to 44, it's just simply 44. And you're a little bit more specific when you answer the investigators by the OCIJ, and this is the question that was put to you. If two people were in love, could they get married? And your answer, if they were in love with each other, the man would ask to get married, and we would not separate them. So in order to get married, you had to ask permission from the cooperative. And this request had to be forwarded to the district committee so that they could decide. Following question. Who could authorize marriages? And your answer. Marriages were decided during meetings between the district and the commune. Marriage was decided on the basis of several elements. First, age. 18 years minimum for the woman. 2, their love, if they really loved each other. 3, the agreement of the parents. End of quote. So, upon reading your answers to the investigators of the OCIJ, do you remember that is how the procedure unfolded? That is to say that a request was made to the cooperative, and they would check the age of the wife, and they would check to see if the spouses agreed to the marriage and if the parents agreed to that as well. Does all of this refresh your memory?
But
Yes, it does. Before they got married, both sides had to allow to one another.
vous avez indiqué
You said that the request was made first at the cooperative level, and then the requests were forwarded to the district committee. So my question, therefore, is going to focus on the requests that you might have seen when you were at the district committee. So my first question, therefore, so aside from the wedding that you attended, did you become aware of requests that were forwarded from the cooperative to your district in Barai without you necessarily attending the marriages?
Yes, the cooperative made such proposals by also indicating the names that made proposals to them.
And when you would receive this kind of request, what would you do, concretely speaking, at the district level? Let me be more specific. So you said that that marriages were authorized if the bride was old enough and if the parents agreed to it, and if both agreed to the marriage. Were you the one carrying out that verification, or did this happen at another level? Who would do this verification? Did this happen at the cooperative level or at the district level?
I cannot recall that clearly. However, after the cooperatives verifies the request, then they further submitted those proposals to the district.
And you at the district level, were you the one who gave your agreement to celebrate the ceremony?
The district then would hold a meeting, and when such a proposal was made by the cooperative representative to the district committee during that meeting, then the committee would decide.
And were these decisions already made during a meeting, or sometimes were decisions issued in writing by sending, let's say, a document or your decision to the cooperative?
The cooperative chief came to the district to present such proposals, and then the district made decision, and the decision was in writing, and then the cooperative noted the decision and returned.
And please correct me if I'm wrong, but based on what you said, if I understood you well correctly, you would decide on the basis of elements that had been provided to you by the cooperative leaders. Is that correct?
Please repeat your question. I don't fully get it.
Let me try to be clearer about this. You said that it was a cooperative chief who would provide to you a report, including the request, and it was you at the district committee level that took the decision. So do we agree that it was based on the elements that were provided to you by the cooperative chief that you would issue your decision?
After we received such information, then the district committee has to make decision, and then we convey such decision to the cooperative chief to make such arrangement.
You said that you only attended one single wedding ceremony. Do you remember how often these ceremonies took place in Barai district when you were there?
I did not have a full grasp about such arrangement at our cooperatives. I only knew of some wedding ceremonies.
Et pendant
And during the period when you were Barai district secretary, do you remember how many ceremonies you were told about?
I cannot recall that.
il y a un
There's a last point that I'd like to cover with you. Earlier, the international co-prosecutor put to you questions about the treatment of the Cham, and you said that you didn't remember anymore, or didn't remember exactly what the policy was with regard to the Cham. And without you maybe necessarily remembering a policy if there was none, but I'd like you to tell me if when you were in Barai, if there were Cham living in your district.
Yes, there were.
Est-ce que vous
Do you remember where in the district there were Cham families?
There were Cham living in Tropeng Chuk.
vous avez
You spoke about this point during another interview with the investigators of the OCIJ. This is document E3/10634, and you spoke about this point at questions and answers 8 to 13. Do you remember, witness, if you received any kind of order destined at arresting the Cham?
I did not receive such order.
est-ce que
Did you know where the Cham came from? The Cham who were living in Trapeang Chuk. Did they originally come from that place, or did they come from elsewhere?
They were the local villagers living in the area.
Monsieur le
Mr. President, I'm done with my questions.
President, thank you, Counsel. The hearing of testimony of witness to TCW 850 is now concluded. And Mr. Witness, the Chamber is grateful of your time to provide testimony for this one whole day. You are now excused. And likewise, Duty Counsel, you are also excused. Court officer, please work with a visual to arrange for the witness to return to his residence or wherever he wishes to return to. Next, the Chamber will hear testimony of a civil party, that is through TCCP 274. And court officer, please usher civil party to TCCP 274 into the courtroom. President, before we proceed to hear testimony of this civil party, the Chamber notes that this civil party has been interviewed in the ongoing investigation in another case. The International Co-Investigating Charge placed this civil party in Group A amongst the three groups in his Memorandum of Understanding, that is document E319/35, and requests that pseudonyms should be used to refer to this civil party in order to protect the confidentiality of the investigation. The Chamber deems the limited measure is appropriate according to the law in this instance, and these instructions are taken into account the balance of publicity of the proceedings and the integrity of the investigation. The Chamber would like to remind parties that they shall adhere strictly to the instruction in document E319/7 regarding the use of disclosures of materials from other cases. And good afternoon, Madam Civil Party. In the proceedings before this Chamber, pursuant to the request by the International Co-Investigating Charge, you will only refer to by using a pseudonym. And your pseudonym is to TCCP 274. And generally, the parties will refer to you as a civil party. And the Chamber will not allow the parties as well as that use of the bench to refer you by your name or your surname in these public proceedings. And Madam Civil Party, can you read? Civil Party, I do not hear you, Mr. President. President, Civil Party, can you read? Court officer, please check the identity of the civil party. And Madam Civil Party, please verify your identity in document E3/6011 at Khmer EN 00496717. And there is no English or French translation. Court officer, please refer that document E3/6011 to the civil party to review it. And Madam Civil Party, please refer to the arrange section where the identity, names, date of birth, place of birth, names of your parents, the name of the husband and the number of the children, whether the information is correct. Please limit your response to yes or no. After you read it, please tell the chamber whether the information is correct. President and Madam Civil Party, can you tell the chamber whether the information is correct? Civil Party, it is correct. President, thank you. Have you been interviewed by OCIJ investigators? If so, how many times, when, and where, if you can recall it? Answer: I was interviewed in Kampong Cham province, and I cannot recall how many times that happened. And I was also interviewed while I was in Prey Veng, and also I was interviewed in Phnom Penh. Question: and before you appear before the chamber, have you reviewed or read the written records of your previous interviews with the investigators in order to refresh your memory? Answer: I met with a lawyer and workers, and I told them about my experience. Have you read the written record of your interviews? And please observe the microphone before you respond. That is, you should only speak when you see the red light on the tip. Answer: I listened to the interview, and I told the lawyer about my account.
President, thank you, Madam. Based on your memory, can you tell us whether the statement that you read were consistent with what you gave during the interview with the investigators? Answer: yes. Question: based on your recollection, can you tell us whether the form and the information in the document were consistent with what you gave in the interviews to the investigator?
ចាបាន
Answer: yes. President, Madam Civil Party, in the proceeding in front of the chamber, at the end of your impact statement, you may be granted the time to make statement about the harm inflicted upon you that you suffered during DK regime, if you wish to do so. And in the testimony of the civil party, based on Rule 91 based of the EECC,
ពីវគ្គសវនាការ
the chamber gives the lead co-lawyer for civil party to start first. You may not have the floor.
បាទសូមគោរពលោកប្រធាន
Bạch Ong, good afternoon, Mr. President. Good afternoon, the bench. I would like to hand over the floor to Counsel Hong Kam Soon. With your leave, Mr. President. President, yes, you may proceed. Counsel Hong Kam Soon. Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to say good afternoon to Mr. President and the bench and parties. My name is Hong Kam Soon. I am the lead co-lawyer for civil party and also the lawyer for
តងជាមួយនឹងការរៀបការ
for the defense project. Now I would like to ask you with a number of questions about DK regime that you experienced, and you could ask me if you don't understand those questions. My first question to you is, before 17 April 1975, where did you and your family live? Answer: in 1975, I lived in Unit 7. Question: I referred to your village, commune, district. I live in Taong village, Taong commune, Chomkale district. Question: what about after 1975 or after the DK regime came to power? Did you remain living there or were you relocated to somewhere else? Answer: I live in village 7. Question: can you tell us where that village 7 located? Answer: the village was called village 7, but it was also in Chamkale district of Kampong Cham province. Question: in your village 7, was you in a civilian unit or mobile unit or military unit? Answer: I was in the union. Question: in your union, The supervisor was a civilian or a military person? Answer. I was with the chief of other unit, say the civil party. Question. During the DK regime, were you required to get married? Answer. Yes. Question. What about before your marriage in DK regime? Did you ever married a husband before that? Answer. During the old regime, yes. Question. What happened to you with your first husband? Answer. He was called to join the revolution. It was called the Revolutionary Army. Question. What happened to your first husband? Answer. I did not know clearly. At that time, Viet Cong attacked the country. It happened all long time ago, so I could not recall everything now. Question. Is your husband still alive? Answer. No. He died long time ago since Viet Cong entered the country. Question. How many children did you have with him? President, Madam, please wait until the tip of the microphone turned red. Civil party, we had one child. Question. Because you said that during the DK regime, you got married one more time. Can you tell us which year it was when you got married for the second time? Answer. It was in 1977, the beginning of 1977. Question. When you got married during DK regime, did they have any specific name to refer to that marriage? Answer. They did not call marriage. They call arrange family. They told me only when we arrived at the scene. Question. At that time, what was your workplace called? Answer. It was called Unit 7, and I was in the union. Question. During your second marriage, were you aware beforehand that you would be wed? Answer. No. I knew about this only when I arrived. Question, what did they tell you? Answer, they said that, comrade, you have to get married. I told them that I did not want to get married yet because I had a child already. And they said that I had to get married, otherwise action would be taken against me. Question, who told you that you would be required to get married? Answer, the chief of Unit 7 named Chain. Question, when they told you that you would get married, did they tell you who or what was the name of your husband? Answer, no, they did not tell me. They did not tell me about the names of the person whom I would get married to. Question, did you know the person whom you would get married to beforehand? Answer, no. Only after we entered the ceremony and then they announced such a thing. Question, can you tell the chamber that when you got married, on the day of your marriage, whether it took place in the cooperatives or at a particular place? For example, the village, the district, and commune. Can you recall it? Answer, yes, I can recall it. When I was called from Unit 7, the unit was called the internal correction. It was called the Munti Knong, and there was 2 offices within it. Question, a while ago you said about Munti Knong or Munti Tasat. What was that Munti Knong used for? Was it a sectoral office or commune office? Answer, the place was called Munti Knong or Knong office. It was in village 2 of Chamka Andong commune. Question, on the day of your marriage, what was the name of your spouse? Answer, his name was Nien. Question, how did you know his name at that time? Answer, initially I did not know his name. I learned about his name later on. Question, earlier you mentioned that you were told that you would be told to get married when you arrive at the place. But you told them that you had you had a child already. And when you were required to get married, did you protest or had any disagreement with them? Answer. I refused to get married, but there was a military cadre named Pan who said that I would have to get married. And I did not dare to protest any longer because I observed that there was cases where people protested or refused to get married and then they disappeared. Question. Can you tell the chamber where those people who refused to get married and they disappeared, where did they disappear to? Answer. Mostly they disappeared when they were told that they would be sent to Baijan or to 41, and they disappeared since then. Question. Did you ever witness the arrest or the tying up of those who refused to get married? Answer. Yes. I saw they were called to get on vehicle and then they disappeared. But I never witnessed any arrest or any tying up of them. Question. If you did not ever witness the arrest of those people with your own eyes, so what made you frightened about the potential trouble that would happen to you if you refuse to get married? Answer. Based on my observation, I saw many cases of people who disappeared because they refused to get married. For me, initially I refused that I would not get married, but because I was forced to do so, so I had to agree. Question. On the day of your marriage, who chaired the ceremony? Answer. It was Comrade Pan, and there were also people from other units whom I did not know them all. Question. How many couples were arranged to get married on that day? Answer. There were 12 couples. Question. During that wedding, did the parents of the bride and groom also participate? Answer. No. Question. Were there any Khmer traditional music to accompany the wedding ceremony? Answer. No. Question. What about monks who blessed the couples? Answer. No, there were no monks. Question. Was there the Bapkasla blessing during that wedding ceremony? Answer. No. No, it was not like nowadays. Question. What about the dress? Did you dress in the wedding costumes? Answer. We wore black clothes with krama around our neck. Question. What about the stage? Were it decorated with flowers or any decoration? Answer. No. They simply use the students' tables. Question. Did you notice that behind the stage, was there any picture or photo that were used as a backdrop? Answer. They used the picture of the sickles. Question. In that wedding ceremony, did they serve any food? Answer. It was just a normal food. It's not like the food nowadays. But I cannot remember what food was served at that time. Question. Did you eat the food that was served on that day? Answer. No. Because I was terribly worried. I did not want to get married to my husband. Question. What do you mean when you say that you were terribly worried and did not want to get married? Answer. I did not like him. I was forced to get married, so I was so angry and I could not eat. Question. What aspect that you were disappointed or upset about? Answer. Because we did not know each other and he was not the guy I love. Question. Can you tell the chamber whether your spouse had any particular physical appearance that made you not love him? Answer. He had an ugly physical appearance. He had dark skin and he spoke with accent and he looks intimidating. I did not love him at all. Question. What about his body? I mean the ears, eyes and limbs, whether he had all of this? Answer. He did not walk properly and his eyes was also not good. Question. How old were you at that time and how old was your husband on the day of your marriage? I was around 23 or 24 and my husband was around 47 or 48. Question. Did the wedding ceremony take place in the morning, afternoon or evening? Answer. It took place between 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Question. Was there electricity to illuminate the wedding place? Answer. No, there wasn't electricity. They used lantern. Question. Can you describe about that lantern, whether it used electricity or something else? Answer. The lantern has a handle and it has a
បាទសូមអរគុណលោកប្រធានតើ
it has something that we pump the air in and it illuminate. President, it is now the time for the adjournment. The chamber announced the adjournment of the hearing today. The chamber will resume its hearing tomorrow from 9 a.m. The hearing tomorrow will hear the hearing of 2 TCCP 224, and we will hear the hearing of 2 TCCP 224. Security personnel are instructed to bring Kim Sompon and Noon Jie back to the detention facility and have them returned to the courtroom tomorrow morning before 9 a.m. The court is now adjourned.